Hello, I'm the CommanderZander. I remember till the nostalgia critic doesn't have to, and neither should you. Well, recently, Watch Mojo did a top 10 killer inanimate objects in movies, and it gave me a perfect idea for a movie to rip on. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. This was a movie that came out in 1978, and you will see in a heartbeat why it got the pathetic ratings it did. Though Rotten Tomatoes, I'm not surprised. They were probably offended because of the fact that it mentioned tomatoes in it. So with that, we're going to delve into Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. But first, the people responsible for this movie, that's how I think about it, they get all the credit. This is not for monetary purposes. This is strictly for review. So with that, let's delve into Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. We begin with this. In 1963, Alfred Hitchcock made a motion picture entitled The Birds, a film which depicted a savage attack upon human beings by flocks of the winged creatures, and people laughed. 12 years later, 7 million blackbirds invaded the town of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, resisting the best efforts of mankind to dislodge them. No one is laughing now. In other words, kiddies, don't laugh at something that you think will never happen because you never know, it might happen. Case in point, this movie. Though in this case, I prefer you laugh. We take place in the present day, which at that point was 1978, 3 years after the Blackbird attack. I'm surprised Big Bird wasn't involved in that one, but then again, he's not a blackbird. And we see a random person doing random stuff with the random dishes while listening to random news on the random radio. She notices something. There's a tomato lodged in the sewer. Okay, clearly these tomatoes are not as intelligent. Of course, that makes sense since they smush easily. Oh, that is so pathetic. Come on. That is so obvious. Fade away into the death of the woman because of the tomato. Foursquare Productions is responsible for this movie. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And they gotta have a theme song for it, which is actually decently catchy, believe it or not. So while the theme song's going on, it shows the cast members and we don't have time. We then fade back into the dead woman who, yes, got killed by a tomato. How, you might ask? Don't ask me, it's all mysterious, fictional crap. No clues? How about a tomato? He's inspecting the body. No! You think? Hence the name of the movie, you dingus! God, this is pathetic. Any of you thought today's movies were black? Back then they had one miss out of a bazillion hits. This is one of those misses. Oh, you gotta be kidding. That is so fake. I love how that freaking wife isn't even paying attention.
Tomato, Martha. I didn't know they brought him so big, Jeff. I wonder where he's going. He got little Timmy.
Wow! Great! And to think that we're friendly people. We don't even care that our little son Timmy's being taken away by tomatoes. What a bunch of ignorant people! Oh yeah, shooting the tomatoes will kill him. Not. As a flock of hillbilly cops come a-calling. And we have to have a helicopter in this scene. And it's spinning out of control. Rolling, 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 burning up in flames. All the smokes are smoking raw high.
My God, did you see that? A tornado flew right into him.
Yeah, there's a shock. The reason why he was out of control was because they were under attack by, you guessed it, a fucking tomato. How long did this movie go? Oh, great. Just over an hour. This lasted just over an hour.
What the hell's going on? Get over here. How bad is it? Oh, sir, I definitely don't think it'll fly again. I'm not talking about that, you wiener. What about the tomatoes? Oh, well, we found 2 more bodies near the main road. But we pushed the tomatoes back to the north end. I don't think any managed to bust loose.
Apparently, it's the invasion of the tomatoes, and it's like aliens. They're trying to thwart them away. It's war against the tomatoes. Incoming!
Look, the president wants a complete investigation. We can't let this out. People will panic, that's what. You know whose ass is on the line? Yours, mine, and the entire gang department.
Yeah, your asses are on the line because tomatoes are decided to riot against the human beings, I guess. So they're getting their payback with a juicy vengeance. This is absolutely pathetic. Why am I reviewing this again?
I don't recognize him. Nobody does. His name is Mason Dixon. He hasn't worked
Mason Dixon? Does he live in the Dixie line? Oh, that's so freaking obvious.
What's he doing here? The president's got him keeping an eye on the investigation.
Oh yeah, I love how while they're talking, you can still hear them shooting in the background.
The sheriff tells me the reports.
Clearly, this is an epic war of epic proportions.
Spots a flying saucer, and pretty soon everybody's shaking hands with little green men. God, who would have thought? All we wanted was a bigger, healthier tomato. Look out, here it comes again!
Incoming! Again. You think that tomato's flying the plane? Meanwhile, we get to the military because obviously this has to boil down to the military somehow, some way.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, gentlemen. Would you follow me, please?
Oh, and they let it slide by that. This is a fucking military. You cannot be late. And you can't let him be off the hook because he's being late. Freaking military. Our military. You're making our military look like a bunch of lenient people when they're not. They are not. They are a bunch of drill sergeants. You are supposed to lay on the line and say, hey, you are not supposed to be late. Dumbasses. Again, stop your freaking apologizing. You're a wussy sergeant. Shall we reach our midget headquarters, if you know what I mean, because this room is so puny. So that our top military men can discuss the situation. Gee, we're all here. Let me count on a count. 1, 2, 3. Fuck it, let's assume everybody's here because I'm a damn military man. Screw you! You're making the military look pathetic.
That's right. Not really. I've been following the personnel proficiency planning for Pago Paratroop Platoon patrols. Oh, Operation...
And clearly they don't know what the hell they're doing. Great!
Misfits? No. Well then, Miss Funk must be pretty well wrapped up.
Separate conversations? I thought they're supposed to band together to stop the tomatoes. Look who's late to the farting party. Again, way to make our military look absolutely pathetic, you pathetic movie. Oh, now we get some order.
We're all here. I'd like to turn the meeting over to Dr. Morris. Thank you, Captain. Major, pardon me? Never mind. Well, as I'm sure
Just get to the point, come on!
this tomato problem has caused considerable concern within the scientific.
Gee, thanks for stating the fucking obvious, you dumbass scientists. How the hell did they manage to make this a movie again? I mean, come on. And when did this come out again? 1978? I can think of 2 movies at that time that I could watch over this one. And they're both obvious. Animal House and Revenge of the Pink Panther. This movie was pathetic. That's why it got crappy ratings. It was on the same time as those 2, which were both getting hits. Bad timing. And we're only 10 minutes into this abomination, so let's move on. We don't have time for this crap. So we see that the tomatoes are off and killing. It's a big one. Shh. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting tomatoes. She's dead. Okay, get rid of that thing. It's just delaying your progress. And how does he react to the death? Oh yeah, he keeps using that stick of his. Great. Would you put that thing away? You're gonna poke someone's eye up too soon. Why are you talking to a dead woman, you idiot? So you slowly but surely make it to her. She's already been attacked by the tomatoes, and you inform her of something that she's already aware of because she's dead, you idiot. God, this movie has no direction. There's no actor or actresses that you can recognize. The plot is absolutely pathetic. What's the point of this movie again? New York with a Look, wait a minute. New York with a That looks like New York. What are you confusing it for? San Francisco? I mean, look at that. You can clearly see the Statue of Liberty back there. How can you question that this is New York? What the hell is wrong with you people? What, were you too lazy to research your time? You just slap on a background and assume and you question whether or not it's New York? Look, if it's New York, you would slap on a picture of the Statue of Liberty, which you clearly did. Hence, you don't need to question whether this is New York or not. God! People, come on! You're clearly ripping off of Rice Krispies, sir.
I believe that's my question.
Why does he always have that voice? This is pathetic. You're not even getting to see the tomato attacks. This is pathetic. Seriously, now we got singing. And I hate singing! I knew at some point we'd be loading up the big tank, since we are involving the military in this one. Up to, up to, up to, up. Explosion! Power! And the tomatoes are at it again! Rolling, rolling, rolling. All the streets are under attack. Keep them tomatoes rolling right. Okay, how are they triggering these explosions when all they're doing is just rolling? Okay, you can clearly tell that this was a model because the tomatoes were so puny. Okay, clearly shooting the tomato ain't working. Too late. You're dead because you're stupid. Okay, how could the tomatoes plant explosives inside themselves and explode when they're rolling? That's impossible because they're tomatoes.
Across the length and breadth of the nation, the tomatoes continue on their rampage of wanton destruction.
Would you like to freaking sum up the movie for me, Mr. Narrator? Because you're doing a wonderful job of doing my job. Look at the rampage the tomatoes have caused. The next day, the news reporters report the reminiscence of the remaining damage that is the tomato attack.
We start with a tight shot, huh, Bill? Tell me when you're ready. Don't run off.
Don't run off? Why would she run off?
Across this great nation, almost everyone has been affected in one way or
You know who we should call? Not Ghostbusters. We should call NCIS, except they didn't exist back in 1978. We should have NCIS build a time machine, go back in time to 1978, and solve the crime of the killer tomatoes. They would get this done in 1 hour, whereas you guys are clearly not going to.
Can you answer my question? Please look into the camera, Mrs. Wu. Your house. Last night's crushing military defeat.
Again, would you like to freaking finish off the movie for me, Mr. Narrator?
Proud civilization lay scattered amidst crushed spirits and broken bodies.
And I bet you're wondering how this movie ends. Well, we got this dude running. Why is he running? I have no fucking clue. This movie has gotten nowhere. All we've seen are killer tomatoes and no solution to stop them because these people are too stupid. No further action, but there are tomatoes on the loose. Here comes the rebels. Dun, dun, we will stop the tomatoes from attacking our city, which will be all too fine. Meanwhile, the military is scrambling. Everything must go. Prices slashed. Incredible deals. Make an offer. Sofas $5. Bunk beds $2. Bar stools and... What's that noise? Well, that probably means the tomatoes are being under attack because look. Run. It's a garbled unintelligible. Help us. We're just south of the arc. Yeah, clearly attacked by the tomatoes, as you can clearly tell by the captioning over there. They got the San Diego Padres chicken involved in this crap. Why? Probably for spirit. We got spirit, yes we do. We got spirit, how about you? Stop the tomatoes! So everybody bands together in a random stadium. And some dude points out where the tomatoes are. Right there. Well, you know what Pang would say. Let the games begin. Boom. Slowly the tomato rolls. Actually, it's sliding down. We're waiting for someone to do something. Oh, forget it. We don't have time. Puberty love. Music? What? What? You're telling me that classical music is the weakness for tomatoes? Alright, killer, that's the end of the movie. I'm sick of this. You're telling me that the only way to stop the tomatoes is showing them classical music? You gotta be fucking kidding me. This movie is atrocious. Not only did it make our military look bad, but it makes freaking people look stupid. How the fuck can killer tomatoes attack us like that? I mean, seriously. And the only cure is classical music? That could stop their crime? You gotta be kidding me. Alright, Jesus Christ. So let me get this straight. If I were to play, say, I don't know, Mizzou Playboy's theme song, that could kill the cure? Or that could get rid of the killer tomatoes? That's what you're telling me? God, what a bunch of fucking... What? Oh no, not killer tomatoes. Alright, stop you! Bang away! I'm the CommanderZander, and if you excuse me, I got the tomatoes I gotta kill. Hey, killer tomatoes! Eat Playboy, damn it! Yeah! Where's the goddamn music? Give me...